So as a massive fan of the Matthew McConaughey iteration of the Lincoln Lawyer, I was a little bit apprehensive of what this Netflix adaptation could be like. But actually, to my surprise, to my pleasant surprise, this series is actually really, really good. And the twists and turns in this series are just absolutely phenomenal. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video, we are going to be reviewing the Netflix adaptation of The Lincoln Lawyer, which is a legal drama series, this time based on the second of the 6 awesome books from Michael Connelly. And like I said, we've had this adapted into a Netflix series, which automatically sets it apart from the brilliant Matthew McConaughey film version, because this one takes a lot of inspiration from the second book, which is called The Brass Verdict, and it's also really different to the Bosch series from Amazon, which is based on Mickey Haller's brother. And in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the entire 10-part series, and I'm also going to be explaining the ending and making some predictions of what could be happening in season 2, so feel free to jump to those sections if you would like, and feel free to jump past them if you haven't seen this series yet. But let's get on with the video review for this awesome Netflix series. So following the sudden murder of fellow defense attorney Jerry Vincent, Mickey Haller inherits his entire practice, and obviously in turn gets all of his cases as well, including a really high profile one which focuses on millionaire Trevor Elliott, who is a video games producer, and he is being accused of allegedly murdering his wife and her boyfriend. And the series then explores whether or not this is true. Is he guilty? Did he do these crimes? If not, then what is the truth behind all of this? Loads of detective work, loads of other cases, loads of other subplots as well, and a lot of romantic complications along the way as well. Now, from a positive point of view, because this is a serialized 10-episode run, they can go into so much more depth with all of the different characters, with all of the different subplots, with all of their different personal motivations, and loads of other cases as well. I know the movie did look at loads of other cases as well from the Mickey Haller perspective to really bring him out to be this awesome character. But in this series, you're able to go into even more depth with it, which is really, really wicked. Every single episode ends with a massive cliffhanger as well, which really does make you want to just consume the next episode. So it's a super bingeable series. I feel like you can really look at it as a 10-hour movie. Well, and not only that, every single episode also has loads of big twists and turns as well. There is obviously this big, massive case, which also has loads of twists and turns taking place, but also all of the mini subplots have twists and turns as well, which is really, really wicked. And alongside that, it feels a lot more grounded and a lot more realistic than the movie adaptation as well, and there are some really hilarious moments as well. For example, in the Trevor Elliott case, the two lawyers are constantly going to the judge, kind of having little chats with him, and he really makes fun of this, for example, saying that, you know, I'm going to start charging you rent soon. So kind of like all of those little lines are really, really wicked. And of course the Mickey Haller character is super slick, super smooth, and is exactly how you remember him from the book, as well as from Matthew McConaughey's version as well. However, from a negative point of view, I would say that even though it is pretty hilarious, it does actually have a bit of an inconsistent tone, as on the one hand it's trying to be really, really funny, then it's trying to be really, really slick, then it's trying to be really, really serious, then it's trying to be really dramatic, and it's a little bit all over the place. I mean, you can look at this as a positive in terms of will always keep you on your feet and you will have a varied experience through one show, but I just feel like it could have done a better job in terms of making it a lot more consistent. Also, some of the legal aspects are a little bit difficult to follow, but they do explain them by the end of the series, which is really, really great, and I will be also explaining the ending right at the end of this video. And on that point, it does kind of take a couple of episodes to get into, and it's kind of also really missing that brilliant, massive LA charm that the movie really, really had, as well as the book series. I mean, it is in there, but they could have done so much more with the actual setting that they were in. Maybe this is due to the fact that they were filming during COVID times, but that being said, I do feel like they could have done a little bit more with the actual charm and aesthetic of the series. But you know, that being said, from a storyline point of view, this series definitely delivers. So from a cast and characters point of view, the Lincoln Lawyer TV series is absolutely brilliant. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have the awesome Manuel Garcia-Rulfo playing the Mickey Haller character, and he is just absolutely excellent in this role. Even though it does take a couple of episodes to kind of get used to him in the role, he is just totally delivering. Even though LA definitely could have brought more charm from an aesthetic point of view, I feel like Manuel is definitely making up for this, as he is super, super charming and really, really smooth in and out of the courtroom. So definitely compensates and makes up for that. And like I said, he is just so brilliant as a defense attorney, and you can just really believe and root for this guy, as you know, he is kind of defending potential criminals, but you can really see it from his point of view, and especially from the innocent until proven guilty perspective as well. And I just feel like he's really, really charming with the ladies as well, and is absolutely brilliant when you can kind of see all of the cogs working in his brain. They even have a visual representation of kind of like cracking a puzzle case safe as well, which is really, really wicked. And I feel like he is absolutely wicked when you can kind of see him putting all of the dots together, and just how he comes up with solutions to get all of these people off. He's absolutely wicked at his job and really, really inspirational to watch as well. So I really feel like Manuel just definitely puts his best foot forwards with this. And also in the final episode, there's a wicked stunt sequence on top of a hill, which is absolutely wicked, and I wish we would have seen a little bit more of this, as Manuel Garcia-Rulfo is so good in action stunt sequences, as we have seen in 6 Underground as well. So it would have been really, really cool to see this more, but nonetheless, I feel like he is doing such a good job in terms of leading from the front in this series. Next up, we have the awesome Neve Campbell, the brilliant Sydney Prescott herself, is in this series, and she is playing Maggie McPherson, and she is a district attorney and the ex-wife of the Mickey Haller character. And you can really feel the tension, the sexual tension between these two characters. And obviously on the courtroom, they obviously defend and represent different sides, and you can really see this and feel this as well, which is absolutely wicked. I would have loved a few more sequences in the courtroom with both of these characters, but instead they're kind of working on their own separate cases. And I feel like Neve Campbell's Maggie McPherson character really is elevated to a main character, and she is kind of working on another case. Her cases are taking place at the exact same time as Mickey Haller's one is. Of course, you're a little bit more invested in Mickey Haller's case, but I feel like Maggie McPherson's one is really, really great as well, and really does show the wide craziness that is taking place in LA. Next up, we have Becky Newton from Ugly Betty, this time playing a character called Lorna, and she is working in the same legal practice as Mickey Haller. And I'm really glad that they really show that this character just has so much potential to be a lawyer herself, and it'll be really interesting to kind of see her exploring this in the second season. But as far as her job in the first season is concerned, she is doing a really, really wicked job in terms of helping Mickey Haller kind of solve all of his cases. She is also another ex-wife to the Mickey Haller character. I wish they would have explored this a little bit more, especially from a love triangle point of view, but instead they kind of just show that these 3 characters are just getting on really, really well, which is really, really great. But I would have loved to see a little bit more drama between these 3 as well. Next up, we have Christopher Graham, another character from Ugly Betty. Henry himself is now on screen with Amanda from Ugly Betty, which is really, really wicked. And this time he is playing a character called Trevor Elliott, which is kind of like this world's version of Ryan Felipe's Roulette character. In the exact same way, you're really questioning whether or not this guy is innocent or guilty. Christopher Graham just does such a good job in terms of really making sure that he's really not typecast, as the Henry character was just so popular in Ugly Betty, and this time he's playing a really shady character, and is really, really great, as it definitely does put a chill down your spine, especially as the series progresses. Next up, we have Angus Sampson, who is so great, as well as the investigator detective character, who is also involved in a bit of a love triangle square point of view as well, as he is dating and is soon to marry the Lorna character, and is the investigator for Mickey Haller. So I love how he really does keep it all in the family. And this guy is actually really, really wicked. He helps Mickey Haller as well so much. It really does feel like a true team effort, and Mickey Haller's not able to do everything on his own. And I feel like this character is just so brilliant in really finding out a lot of information that really does help Mickey Haller in all of his cases. We've also got Jazz Raycole, who is the driver to Mickey Haller, and I absolutely love the relationship that these 2 characters have, as both of them are former drug addicts, so you can really explore where these characters were and the transformation that they've made. And the Izzy character does relapse at one point, so I feel like the Mickey Haller character is really able to be a father figure to her, and also he is able to teach her, as well as with the audience as well, how he's going to be thinking and planning and plotting and dealing with certain things in the courtroom. And I absolutely love these sequences. I love how they also change it aesthetically as well, as it does feel like a bit of an Instagram filter kind of takes place during those explanatory scenes, which is really, really wicked. And then finally, we've also got Michael Graziade, who is the opposing lawyer to Mickey Haller in the Trevor Elliott case, and he is really, really wicked in terms of being so headstrong and really, really determined to show that actually Trevor Elliott is the murderer, and I feel like he is the perfect opposition that Mickey Haller needs. And I just feel like he gets wound up so much by Mickey Haller and is very, very serious in the courtroom, which really allows Mickey Haller to really be a lot more personable and really, really slick as well. So I feel like as an ensemble group of characters, they are absolutely wicked in The Lincoln Lawyer. So the ending of this series is really, really similar to the book and also to Matthew McConaughey's movie, even though, of course, like I said, it does follow different characters and a different case and a different storyline. But as far as the ending is concerned, it is revealed that actually Trevor Elliott did murder his wife, as she was the true coding expert behind Parallax and the game that they created, Ntare, and she was just so fed up of the Trevor Elliott character taking credit for all of her work, and the only reason that she allowed him to take credit for it is that actually the coding expertise that she had, the previous company would have been able to take credit for this, so she kind of allowed her husband to do this, so he didn't share any of the credit with her. And because she was so fed up with this, she was not only going to leave him but was also going to reveal the truth. And of course Trevor Elliott didn't want this to happen, so he not only murdered her but also murdered her boyfriend as well, and then used his drone technology to get rid of the murder weapon and all of the bloody clothes as well in those 7 minutes. That Mickey Haller was explaining to the jury that how on earth was he able to do this in 7 minutes? The way he was able to do this is through using drone technology to rid all of the incriminating evidence, and the judge that gave Mickey Haller Jerry Vincent's cases in the first place was also in on this and was going to get a cut from the $1 million sale of Parallax right at the end of this series. And also one of the friends of the dead wife then murders Trevor Elliott, as she just knows that Trevor Elliott was behind all of this. And I thought it was really great as well right at the end of this series that Mickey Haller is now able to go full circle and is now able to return to surfing, and really is going full circle to where we met him right at the beginning of this series, where he was a recovering drug addict and was really losing everything. And now he has gained everything, which is really, really great. However, lurking in the shadows is potentially another killer from the other case where he was saving someone. So it really does lend itself really, really well to the second season, which I will be talking about in a moment. So we've got 5 other books to take big Mickey Haller case inspiration from, one of which could be the Louis Roulet case, which, like I said, is what Matthew McConaughey's movie is based on. But I feel like if they are going to continue the series, they may well leave this right to the end, as of course the audience have experienced and seen this before. So then there are 4 other books which they could take massive inspiration from, which could be really, really wicked. And like I said, there is a bit of a lurker murderer in the background from one of the other cases that Mickey Haller was able to get someone out of jail from. And also I feel like they're also going to explore the Maggie relationship as well. This was obviously very, very heated in the final episode, and I feel like it'll be really great to explore the relationship between these 2 characters, as a couple of scenes that we have seen them together, they have a really great relationship, a very steamy relationship, and a lot of chemistry, so I can't wait to see even more of these 2. And also the Maggie character is now going to be exploring a bit of a new path, so that will be really, really wicked. Maybe she's going to really try to stop all of these sex trafficking people. And also Lorna has finally enrolled into law school, so I'm really hopeful that she is going to do this simultaneously to still working with Mickey Haller, as like I said, that team dynamic is really, really wicked. Speaking of teamwork, we also see that the investigator is now kind of exploring his biker past, and they want him to do something for him to really clear his name with them, which they didn't reveal yet, so it'd be really, really interesting to see what this is. And also I really love the dynamic with Izzy and Mickey Haller as well, so I'm really hopeful that they explore this a lot more as well. And maybe Izzy will have a bit of a relationship with Mickey and Maggie's daughter as well, which will make them all really, really close. But I'm really hopeful also that we get so many more stunt sequences. As like I said, in the final episode, that was absolutely wicked, and Manuel Garcia-Rulfo is so good and able to do all of those action sequences. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that, but nonetheless, I just can't wait to hopefully see what's going to happen in season 2. So from a visuals point of view, with the Lincoln Lawyer, I'm a little bit mixed. So there are a lot of positives with the visuals. So for example, all of the courtroom scenes were absolutely wicked, very, very gripping, very edge of your seat viewing. And like I said before, really, really realistic. You're really being able to be immersed into this world. And you really kind of feel like you're a jury member and you're really listening to what's happening. And I feel like both of the lawyers were doing such a good job. So you're really able to believe everything. All of the LA mansions look really, really cool. The classic car office definitely didn't disappoint. And I thought it was really interesting as well in terms of who is the person that is bugging their car. So it really did have a lot of detective aspects. And like I said, you're really with all of the different characters as you yourself are kind of putting all of the clues together. And the action sequence in the final episode, even though it was a little bit short-lived, it was really, really wicked. And all of the wicked twists and turns were really depicted really, really well from a visuals point of view. However, with the Lincoln Lawyer, I just wanted to feel a little bit more involved in this awesome LA space, and I just feel like the LA charm was a little bit missing, and in some respects it felt a little bit stale from an aesthetic LA perspective, which they really need to ramp up if they are going to do a second season. But that being said, all of the characters definitely make up for it, as they definitely brought a lot of charm, but I just feel like from a visuals point of view, they definitely could have gone a little bit further to make it even more cool. So from a comparisons point of view, of course, this is a Netflix TV series adaptation from the incredibly popular Michael Connelly book series, and of course is very different / similar to the Matthew McConaughey film version. Currently, I do prefer the film version, as I just absolutely loved that film. This series is really, really wicked, but in terms of comparing the two, I do have a slight preference for the movie. In terms of comparing it to other TV shows, I feel like it is very similar as well to the Boosh series on Amazon Prime. Of course, that is based on Mickey Haller's brother. It'll be interesting to see if the two are going to converge in the future, but I think, because the fact they're owned by two different networks is probably unlikely. In terms of comparing it to other TV shows from a legal drama point of view, of course, you can definitely compare it to Ally McBeal. Again, with Ally McBeal, I definitely prefer it to The Lincoln Lawyer. But that being said, The Lincoln Lawyer is pretty wicked as well. You can also compare it to Suits for sure. Again, I slightly prefer Suits as it is a lot more cooler than The Lincoln Lawyer, but The Lincoln Lawyer is a lot stronger than Goliath, Accused, Show Trial, The Good Fight, Chicago Justice, Law and Order. So many legal drama TV shows out there, and I feel like The Lincoln Lawyer does a really, really good job in terms of trying to stand out from the crowd. So overall, I really, really enjoyed The Lincoln Lawyer. I thought it was an excellent adaptation of the incredibly popular novel series from Michael Connelly. I think they did a really good job in terms of making this very distinct and separate to the incredibly popular Matthew McConaughey movie as well. I thought all of the performances were really, really great. I was really invested into the storyline, and I think all of the twists and turns, final action sequence in the final episode is really, really wicked, and I'm really hopeful that Netflix does commission a second season, as it would be really cool to kind of see what's going to happen next with all of these different characters and this world that they are creating as well. But from a scores point of view, I'm going to give this adaptation a solid 6.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, this series. What did you think of it? Let us know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.